To another episode of the Warehouse Chronicles. I'm Stat7 Sports, and this is the Contain Kunas. Now, it has been a little bit more than a week and a half since the last video on this, but really since this time, and based off of news that's come up through today and over the past couple days, as baseball is starting to go into their spring training, that's going to end up starting their 60-game season with 48 being between their division and 20 with opposing league division. Going into football season, as everything still is technically for college football going into the season the schedules haven't been halted or postponed or changes being delayed off it until yesterday, whenever you had the Ivy League schools, just like with college basketball, being the first to make a change to their schedule, and all the Ivy Leagues have stated that they will not be doing fall sports for this season. They'll be canceling their fall sports for this season. So if you go back into March, whenever it's March Madness for college basketball, this was pre-conference tournaments where the Ivy Leagues had canceled all their conference tournaments, and they canceled any involvement being done with the NCAA tournament, which ended up leading to all the other college basketball schools deciding to cancel mid-conference tournaments and the entire NCAA tournament. This could end up being the same way for college football. Hopefully not, but we have kind of seen the first update on that, to where the first Power 5 school to make any change on their season has been the Big Ten, to where they have agreed to do a Big Ten conference only schedule. Now, we don't know how long that's going to end up being. That could just be for the regular season, or we could just end up having, or it could be the entire season and potential postseason efforts, or it could be just the season, and then whenever it goes into potential playoff and bowl scenarios, that if the COVID situation kind of calms down towards the latter part of the season, we could still get the bowl games and we still could get the playoff matchups. I could still see that happening. But for the fact that you are getting the Big Ten to being the first Power 5 school to say they're not going to be doing any of the non-conference games to basically avoid a lot of the extended travel, there could and what I believe could end up being pretty likely that will be the case, to where a lot of the Power 5 schools and a lot of the rest of college football are going to end up trying to follow that case, to where all the SEC teams will just be continuing to do their SEC schedule and so on and so forth. My guess they might end up keeping the schedules as is, or they may end up just pushing back the whole schedule to where it's like week after week after week, and then the one bye week that every team's going to get throughout their 8 to 9 game season in that case. Now, it is going to be different for different conferences, because everyone in the Pac-12, they have 9 conference games, and same thing with the Big Ten. Same thing with the Big 12, and so on and so forth. SEC, I'm not exactly sure on the Big Ten and ACC, but SEC has 8 conference games. There are 6 in division and 2 out of division opponents. So you could end up seeing, if they're trying to end up matching it with the other Power 5 schools, the Power 5 conferences, you could end up seeing something like that, to where they will just be playing the in-conference opponents, and maybe one opponent that might be like an in-state school, just so you're not going to get the big team travel, which a lot of teams and a lot of like the school boards, the school presidents, the college football and all of that, they're being real concerned a bit for this really starting to feel like the second wave of COVID coming forth, and we've had kind of some of the highest blimps on the radar of the amount of people, especially around the age range of college football players and any other college sports in general. around that 18 to 29 range as my as all as also with myself. But this seems like something that a lot of the Power 5 schools will probably likely go along with and emulate as well, because it's as we get closer and closer to the season that starts in late August, it's seemingly more unlikely that we're going to get that full season as normal with everything. But because of the monetary value of college football in general, and unlike the Ivy Leagues, because they have a lot of outer funds that they can get from sponsors and all that does not require really any funding off of their sports programs and all their athletic programs. But for a lot of SEC schools, a lot of the Power 5 schools that are not highly funded by their academics and such, they do rely on their sports programs, and for most of them, their college football programs, which for especially a lot of the Power 5 conferences is their biggest revenue factor. So I don't expect at this point that the full season is going to be canceled, but I do expect at this point that because of the Ivy League, just like with college basketball, with the Ivy Leagues canceling, I doubt that the Power 5 is going to go through that length, but I do think that they're going to end up trying to match what the Big Ten did and going down to basically that 8 to 9 game schedule in with just conference opponents. Like an instance for LSU, we have 8 conference opponents, and I could see them still keeping Nichols still on the schedule if they want to keep that 9-game schedule for this season, and then you get the conference championships and the bowl games. I still do believe that part of the season will not be canceled for a lot of college football, but it is still a will to see at this point. We'll see at this point because many of these schools cannot function without all the profits they get from their college sports. But let me know of y'all's opinions down in the comments below. If you have any questions for me, any comments, concerns off of it, let me know in the description. But I do thank y'all for watching. If y'all enjoy it, please like, share it out, subscribe to the channel. I will be trying to put more videos on it in the near future. Sorry about the bit of delay on it, but there's a few factors that made a couple delays going on. But with that being said, thank y'all for watching. This is Stats of Sports. I'm the Contained Kunas. See y'all next time.